All right, hello and welcome. If you're a Kent Business College apprentice tackling that marketing executive level 4 qualification, then you are in exactly the right spot. Today, we're going to dive deep and tackle the K9 module head on.
So, are you ready to conquer the K9 module? I know, product development portfolios, it can feel like a lot, right? But honestly, stick with me. By the end of this, you're not just going to understand it, you're going to have a rock-solid plan to absolutely ace it, I promise.
So, what's our secret weapon? It's actually pretty cool. We're going to think like a master chef. Yep, you heard me right. For the next few minutes, just forget all that dry textbook business theory. I want you to imagine you're the head chef at a world-class restaurant, and your job is to create a menu that people will talk about for years. This one simple idea, it's going to be our guide through everything.
Okay, so here's our game plan, our menu for today. First, we'll kick off with your K9 mission. Then, we get into the kitchen with the product development recipe. After that, we'll look at managing the whole product menu. And then, this is the super important part. We'll talk about plating up your evidence for APTM and finish strong with how to ace that final assessment. Sound good? Let's go.
All right, first up, the product development recipe. This is all about going from just a spark of an idea to a real show-stopping signature dish. You know, every amazing restaurant has that one dish everyone talks about, right? Well, every great company needs a standout product. And the process? It's actually way more similar than you'd think. This is your recipe for success.
So, let's get the official definition out of the way. Product development. It's basically the whole journey of bringing something new to the market. We're talking from that very first what-if idea, all the way through research, design, and right up to the big launch. But okay, let's get back to our kitchen analogy, because that's way more fun. In our world, product development is creating that brand new, gotta-have-it signature dish. It's not just about making something that tastes good, no way. It's about creating an experience. Something customers will absolutely love, tell all their friends about, and keep coming back for. And here it is, the recipe itself broken down into 5 key steps. First up, market research. This is you being a food critic, tasting the trends, and really listening to what your diners are asking for. Next, number 2 is concept development. Now you're back in the kitchen, brainstorming, scribbling down ideas. You're inventing that perfect recipe. Then, step 3, design and prototyping. This is where you actually make a trial version of the dish, which leads us perfectly to step 4, testing and feedback. You're holding a taste test, getting real, honest feedback to make it even better. And finally, the grand finale, step 5, launch and marketing. You're adding the dish to the menu with a massive announcement. It's the new star of the show. Okay, so you've created a masterpiece dish. Awesome. But wait, one great dish doesn't make a great restaurant, does it? It's about the entire menu, the whole experience. And that brings us to our next section, managing your product menu, or what the business world calls curating your portfolio.
So again, the official textbook definition, a product or service portfolio is just, well, it's the complete list of every single thing an organization sells. Simple as that.
But for us, it's the menu. That's all you need to remember. Your portfolio is every starter, every main course, every dessert on offer. It's the whole shebang, the full collection of all your amazing creations. And this is where it gets really interesting. Look at the difference here. A well-balanced menu, a good portfolio, has something for everyone. It appeals to different tastes. It's got those star dishes that bring people in, but also the steady sellers that always do well. And it all fits together with the restaurant's brand. But a poorly balanced menu? Yikes. It's probably just one type of food, it's full of stuff nobody orders, which wastes ingredients, that's resources, and it's totally missing the latest trends. The exact same thing applies to a business's product portfolio.
So, this is where you come in. As the marketing executive, you are the head chef. It's your job to look at the sales data and see which dishes are flying out of the kitchen. You've got to decide when to spice things up and diversify the menu. You need to make sure every single dish makes sense for the business's goals. And you have to be smart about optimizing your resources so nothing gets wasted. You're running the whole show.
Okay, section 3. Now this is crucial. We're talking about plating up your evidence. You've done all this amazing work in the kitchen, but for your apprenticeship, that's not enough. You have to prove it. You have to plate it up perfectly to show off your skills, and this is all about how you get that evidence into Aptum. You know, the system where you log all your work.
Look, to pass this module, knowing the theory is only half the battle.
You have to show your assessor right there in APTEM how you are actually, for real, developing and managing your company's menu in your day-to-day job. It's all about that practical application.
So what kind of evidence are we talking about? Well, here's your checklist. Think about things like your product development plans. Those are basically your recipe cards, right? Or your portfolio evaluation reports. That's your analysis of menu performance. How about your go-to-market strategies? That's your big dish of the day launch plan. And of course, you absolutely need your market research findings. That's the real feedback you got from your customers.
And here's a massive tip. When you upload your evidence to AppTem, please don't just dump the files and run. You have to tell the story. Explain it. Show the assessor the clear, logical line connecting the dots from the customer research to the product idea to the marketing plan and, critically, to the final results. That connection, that's everything.
All right, we are on the home stretch now. You've done the work, you've plated the evidence, now let's get you ready for the final exam, the Endpoint Assessment, or EPA. Think of this as the final tasting for the judges. Let's talk about what they're really looking for.
So picture this. You're in your EPA. The assessor leans in and asks, so tell me, how did market research actually influence your product development process? What do you say? Panic? No way. Here's how you nail it.
First off, do not, I repeat, do not just say, oh, we did some surveys. No, you've got to be specific. Start by explaining how you pinpointed a real customer need or a gap in the market. Then, show how that data directly shaped your product concepts. Give a real-life example. Our research showed a huge demand for a vegan option, so we developed the spicy bean burger. See? You're showing a clear, logical process from start to finish.
Okay, what about the menu? Here's another absolute classic they might throw at you. How do you evaluate the performance of the different products in your portfolio?
And again, it's all about the specifics. Talk about the actual metrics you use. Are you looking at sales figures, profit margins, customer feedback scores? Explain your process for sorting your star performers from your duds. And then, the most important part, what do you recommend? Should we promote it more, tweak the recipe, or is it time to take it off the menu? And always, always tie it back to the bigger picture. How does this help the company's main goals?
And you know, that's what this whole K9 module is really about. It's pushing you to think bigger. You're not just a marketer who promotes stuff that already exists. No, you are a culinary innovator. You're the head chef, using data, using creativity to shape the future of your company's entire menu. You're making sure your company is serving up exactly what the market is hungry for. Now go on and absolutely ace that assessment.